Hello and welcome to Nanapod, a podcast dedicated to the fantastic manga written by Yazawa. I'm Crystal, and I'm joined by my best girl Kirsten as we dissect this manga, discussing everything from the emotions, the cultural impact, as well as any headcanons that might be floating around in our brains. With this podcast, we hope to preserve a shoujo staple that sadly hasn't been talked about in a very long time. So come with us. We're waiting for you in apartment 707.
Now recording. Hello, Craig. It's been a while.
Oh, Craig.
Welcome back. Did you miss us, Robot Man? Robot Bear?
Robot Bear.
Robot Bear? Robo Bear in action.
Robo Bear in action. Yes.
So it's been like a month. Hi.
Right. Hi.
On a side quest.
Yeah. Yes, we
So
have.
now we're back in main story mode. Maybe we should do like a recap of the last chapter.
Yeah.
So in the last chapter, we became very questioning of Takumi, and even in the comments, a lot of things were like, "No, I don't want to like Takumi."
Right.
And so that was the chapter where Takumi went to their new apartment for the first time, and Naoki like tagged along,
Yeah, that's right. And he was all
right?
like, he is happy. I am satisfied. Goodbye.
Right, yeah, exactly. After he pretended to be royal, hopping around the house and being fed and being adorable. Because like we really got to spend time with Naoki in that chapter, which spurred, us wanting to do the two backstories of Takumi and Naoki. Like it was a really good time to insert that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like we did get to see like Takumi at home, Takumi as a partner, not Takumi as a rock star and playboy.
Yeah.
And then we also had like the Rira meltdown about the situation where we checked in with that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing that's leading into this next chapter essentially was been called Hachi. And Hachi kind of lied about it, like actually did lie about it being Shin calling, even though there was no reason for her to lie to Takumi about Shin calling and checking in on her.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, that I think that has something to do with Shin's like association with Nobu and Blast and that whole like dichotomy and triangle of drama. Um,
Yeah.
and so that's probably Hachi's panic. I don't think she should have lied. But like, if she's not ready to really face that part yet, that's fine. That's her healing journey. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, I guess, important in her validity and autonomy in the situation.
Yes.
And then let's see. Nana went to the apartment and Ren was there. Um, and then Shin went to go see Rira and sang Layla to her because he wrote that cover. And we had a Junko's place.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was,
It
where
was
we
a
left
lot.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was where we left off.
That's
That
where
was
we
one
left
chapter,
off.
a while ago for us. Um,
Yeah. But now we are here in volume 10.
yep. And plan. Okay, so chapter 33,
Yeah.
volume 10. We're on volume 10
Yeah.
officially.
Yes.
And it starts out with a letter.
Mm-hmm.
A letter that Nana found in the apartment.
Yeah.
Um, and it just shows it's open, but it gives narration to it. It says, oftentimes people say that only the closest of friends fight, but really, fighting is just a conflict between two individuals. After all, humans cannot understand each other solely by telling the truth. It's impossible to stay away from being hurt for a lifetime, but try your best not to hurt those around you. I really think that's how it should be.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, don't be a shitty fucking human.
Right. Right.
That's it. Like, that's absolutely it. Oh god, now that brought me to another video game, like, TikTok account. I just found them today. Um, and they, like, it's about the new Baldur's Gate.
Oh, everyone. That's what Gracie said to me. She's like, my internet's slow. It's taking me like 4,000 years to download Baldur's Gate 3 or
Finn
whatever it is.
Finn got it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um, and like he was like, Bob, I'll play the game for you. You just tell me what to do. And I'm like, no, I want to play the game myself. And so like he insisted and like had me like tell him how to design my character. And I'm like, you realize this would have taken me like 5 hours and not 20 minutes. And he's like, yeah, that's why I'm doing it for you.
What are you saying,
And I'm
son?
like, she's not good enough. But yeah, no, this person was talking about how like people are really into like when you find out someone else is playing, they really want to know like each choice that you make and all of this
Mm.
stuff. And so then she started talking to this guy who was playing, and he was explaining that like he like made all of the people on his party put the worms in their heads like out the gate so they could use the power.
Oof.
And then like yeah, he was going step by step, and then like he ended up skipping a bunch of stuff accidentally.
Mm.
And then he like ended up in a relationship, but that relationship they broke up, and now he's in another relationship with a different character, and they've decided that they're just going to be gods. And so then the person was like, and this person scared me because like a lot of us talk about how we're just going to do like an evil campaign, but his natural choices were evil. This person is evil. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh no.
Ah, get ready, get ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready for like character lore about that game because like there's like backstories. People have like created backstories to their character before they like ended up on the spaceship. And like it's intense. I'm here for it. Anyway, end of side tangent. Don't be a shitty person. Don't be like that guy who naturally is inclined to make evil choices in Baldur's Gate.
Right?
So there's a really cute color picture that I have. You have the one that's of it's Shin and Nana with an
Hmm.
umbrella and it's like raining. Mine is the umbrella is yellow and they're wearing like it's like shades of blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really
Bring
cute.
bring some color.
Yeah. Then there is a text message, well, or an email, right? Because they're emails. It says Hachi, and then September 11th. So we have a date
We have a
at
date.
8:56. Good morning.
Good
It's
morning.
good morning, and it's I believe to Shin. It says, "Thank you for the phone call last night. I was really happy, but I'm sorry that I hung up because you or before you could finish what you were saying. I'm really sorry. After that, I went through a lot of thinking. There's something that I have to tell you, Shin. There's also something I want to ask you about. If you have the time this afternoon, can we find a place to meet up, Hachi?" And we have a little scene change.
Yeah. It just occurred, it did occur to me when I was reading this, and I'm like, ah, so this is what was happening in Japan on 9/11.
Oh my
I,
god, wait. Is this the same year?
yep.
It is the same year? Are we
Yeah.
in 2000? Are we in 2001?
Yeah. We're in
Oh, we
'01.
are. Okay. Well, here we go.
Well, here we go.
I mean, 9/11 was exclusively like a US thing, and it was absolutely petrifying. I don't know anybody who doesn't remember where they were or what they were
Yeah.
doing.
I remember, but I also have like I have complicated feelings around that day. So,
So do I, because conspiracy theories are a thing.
oh no, I totally get you. Mine are just well,
Personal?
yeah. It's a 9/11,
What
but
was
there's a
happening in the Yazawaverse specifically on 9/11? Because this was written before 9/11. So let's see if there's any like, prediction from the Demon Lord.
right. I don't think there's gonna be, but let's deep dive and see if we can. But there's like a ding dong. There's a ding dong of a door, and it's Rira, and she's asleep, and she wakes up, and she jumps and looks beside her, but Shin's gone because of course he is.
To be.
Yeah. And she opens up the door, and it's the assistant. And she says, "Good morning, Rira. Did you sleep all right?" And she said, "Yeah, I didn't take those pills, so I don't feel knocked out." She says, "Oh, good, because you have to meet a lot of people and talk a lot today." And Rira says, "A lot?" She says, "Yep. First, first this morning you have an interview in the hotel with a woman's magazine. Then in the afternoon we're going out to do three different music magazine interviews and two quickies with the whole band for some uh, listing rags. And tonight you've got two radio shows to do.
This
And Reba's face.
listing rags.
Listing rags. Yup.
Okay, I've got entertainment magazines.
Yours is better.
Listing rags, some gossip columns. We have to go give interviews to gossip columns. No, no, no. Musicians don't give interviews to gossip columns.
Right? Mm-mm. Did you?
It's
No.
bad PR. That's bad PR.
Yeah, we don't do that, kids. It's bad for you. But yeah, Rira's face is like her eyes are all swirly, and I'm like, yeah, girl, you're gonna talk a lot. The assistant says, I'm sorry for cramming all this in today. And she says, it's all right. I'm the one who made us go over time on the recording. I should be the one apologizing. And the assistant says, no. And Rira says, can I jump in the shower? Is there time for that? The assistant says, yeah, the hair and makeup person will be here in half an hour. What do you want for breakfast? Rira says, can you order me something from room service? And she goes off to take a shower, and there's a rush. And the assistant looks in an ashtray where Shin has left a cigarette.
He left evidence.
He left evidence! Oh no! Now Rira's in the bathroom, there's a creak, and he also left his lighter again. And she picks it up, and it goes clink. And she thinks about the first time that he left it, and when she said, I think you meant to leave this here. And she looks kind of happy that he left it.
Very happy.
I'm very happy.
She's very happy that he left it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a token.
Yeah. And there's think boxes.
From the poor little groomed boy.
Yeah. Oh, Shin. Poor baby.
Right.
Let's see. We got think boxes, and I believe it's Nana, and she's saying I didn't have to go to work that day, and I slept soundly in Ren's arms for the first time in days, and I woke up refreshed as if I'd been exercised. And there's a scene change.
Scene change, and it's Nana and Ren. Are they're at Ren's apartment?
Yeah, Nana's naked.
Yeah, Nana's naked. Ren's headboard looks very familiar to Hachi's headboard, by the way. Because I pay attention to those things. She's thinking, because she's awake, Ren's still asleep, and she's thinking, it's raining. Crap. Left my umbrella at Ren's place. Wait, so they're not at Ren's place.
Oh, I guess they aren't. That's right, because he came over to the apartment and she was reading the letter and she was all like, I have a sad. So
Is that her headboard then? Oh, maybe that is her headboard. I thought it was different than that for some reason, but maybe it's not. Oh yeah, because she never moved her stuff out. So yeah, they're in Nana's room at apartment 707.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, Ren is asleep and she looks down at him and kind of covers him up.
Mm-hmm.
And the narration says, in the end, Nobu didn't tell him. And then she thinks to herself, that guy is so unreliable. And there's more narration. It says, this pride really is pride really that important? And so then she holds him and kisses him on the little forehead. And then he nuzzles into her boobies.
Yes, cozy.
Right. And she giggles. And then more narration. Unless I'm successful in my music career, this complicated feeling I have for Trap Nest will probably never go away. But every time we see each other, it always ends up like this. It's because I like Ren. It's really that simple. Oh, you just like him, Nana?
Right. She says I love him and mine, so.
I mean, ugh. So then pour over coffee is being made.
Commoner's coffee. Commoner's coffee.
Commoner's coffee? Pour over coffee.
And it reminds me of the scene from Oron High School.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know you're talking about. No, I remember that part. I was just recently rewatching that. I did try again to watch The New Fruits Basket.
How'd that go?
I mean, it ended up just on in the background.
That's fine.
I made it further than I've ever made it before when I wasn't actually fully paying attention. So we're getting there, baby steps. Um,
Yeah, I made a reference to Oron yesterday because I was on like a Discord call with the rest of my cast, and I was like, "Oh, the Hitachi twins," and Max said, "That's a super old reference." I said, "Excuse you," and he
I
was like,
still watch it every few years.
"Same, same."
Yeah,
He's like, "I'm sorry, I just called you old," and I'm like, "Yeah, apologize to me."
I can't get into a lot of the new anime. It's different.
It is different.
It's also because it's being made for an American audience now. Like it's being edited in the timing. I read a whole thing about like the new generation of anime versus the anime that we grew up watching. And the manga,
Mm-hmm.
like differences also is that when it's being created, it has the states in mind, whereas before it didn't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they're actually changing things because in Japan it's not considered racially like motivated, but over here certain things are considered racially motivated, like in like One Piece and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
they create a separate one essentially for the US.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Those Jason was saying that to me the other day. He was like, I really want to find basically he wanted to find anime like what he grew up with in the 80s and then what we had in the 90s, and I said, "Oh, they don't make that anymore."
Yeah, you're not gonna find that today. Sorry.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
and
not a thing anymore. It's not.
yeah, and he said, "How dare you?" And I said, "It's true though. Like it's the truth, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. It's just it's not gonna happen.
Just rewatch your old stuff and just be
Yeah, that's what
happy."
I do.
That's what I do, exactly, right? I'm like, just you got what you got from the past. You just keep it, hoard it, rewatch it. That's how
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
happy.
I mean, like, and every time I try to watch something that's like new, I can't get into it.
Mm,
I don't know why. It's not the fault. It's not that it's not good. It's that
mm-hmm.
it's like there's something different about it.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like change. It's just like I don't know, like the anime that I watch are like it's like a comfort for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
I know
I'm
that
old.
feeling.
I'm I'm old. I like what I like, damn it.
Yeah, like what I like, damn it.
I am who I
Exactly.
am. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to change because I change every day. Thank you very much. So we have thought boxes. It says the cabinet in the kitchen no longer contains the strawberry glasses. I'm not stupid enough to believe that Hachi took them.
Mm.
So whenever I think of the fact that those glasses were shattered, I feel restless. You know, if you would have just fucking communicated, Nana, and told her that it was an accident, not out of anger, and swallowed your fucking pride, you'd be talking to Hachi again.
True.
Facts. So Ren says both glasses were broken. No, not a question, a statement. Both glasses were
Mm-hmm.
broken. And Nana looks up at him shocked with a little sweat bead and says, "Huh?" And Ren's like, "Takumi said to me, 'Why is your woman so scary? Go train her.'" What does yours say?
It's very close. He says, Takumi told me your lady's so violent, make her behave. But
Oh
he's so
God.
violent himself.
He is him and his people's curry. If he wouldn't have been spread of the people's curry, it would have been fine. None of this would be here now.
Right, right. I explained that to Nate over the weekend. I was like, "So the curry come?" And he was like, "Excuse me." I was like, let me explain. And then I did. So it was a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not privy to the conversations, like it's it's just one of those things where it's like you're overhearing like and you don't know the inside joke, right?
Yeah.
That's
No, but
pretty much everything that we end up coming up with.
pretty much. But like he got it. And even Nate, who's never read this, was like, "So wait a minute. Hachi's standing on a plate of curry and there's an egg and it's Takumi's plate of curry." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, yeah, the kid's fucking his. Why are they even arguing about this?" I'm like, "Right.
It's
Exactly."
such a good it's like I don't know, maybe it's a depth of thought thing.
Maybe.
Maybe it's because this wasn't written for an American audience.
Maybe. Oh my God, I had to get off like Nana Talk the other day because I was getting angry because people were doing the thing where they were just like, "We know that Ren is Nobu's kid." Like, There's no question. And I'm like, I gotta go.
Go,
I
gotta
I
go.
I gotta go, or I'm gonna start messaging people. Can't be here.
Like oh, even without the people's curry, guys, like it's not that hard. It's really not. And like Nobu has even said that he always used a condom. What's the probability? What is the probability?
Mm-hmm.
Like it is known that Takumi doesn't use protection. Takumi doesn't use a shin Johnny, and Nobu does use a shin Johnny.
Exactly.
Like that's it. That's it. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Um
It's not. Nope.
so then in the little words he says he's really scary himself. And so Nana, it's all of these dots and she's super irritated and says terrain? Question mark? Like she's a cat, she's not a
Right,
dog.
right. I'm
Like
like, you
she's
can't
a
train
cat. She's
cats.
the only cat in the group.
You can't train
You
cats.
can't train cats. It's not a thing.
No, and if you have attempted, it's because they let you. You didn't
Right.
train shit.
Like Gigi has like little things I've trained her to do, but it's also because like the exchange of training a cat is very different.
Yep.
It's very different. Like like you can't trick a cat to not give it a reward. You
Pretty much.
can trick a dog to not give it a reward.
Hmm.
That's it. Yeah. It with cats, it's an exchange
It is.
if they want it.
It's true.
So Ren goes on to say, when Hachi saw those broken glasses, she broke down and cried. Takumi had a hard time getting her to calm down. And he says it like kind of nonchalantly.
Hmm.
And he flicked his cigarette and it bounced off of Nana's head. Rude. And so then he goes on to say, normally when people see that, they'll think that you probably broke it out of anger. Even if it was an accident, it's still impossible to break both of them together. And so then he goes on to say, those cups, Hachi really treasured them. No wonder she wanted to leave and not tell you. She thinks that by you doing that, you're telling her that the two of you are not friends anymore. And now Nana looks shocked.
Hmm.
And she lit a cigarette, and then Ren took her cigarette. So not only did he flick his butt on her head, he now took hers. So rude. Um, and so now she's angry. Okay, let her have her nicotine, please. Um, so she's like, "What do I do? That's not what I meant." And so Ren says, "Then what did you mean?" "I don't know. I find it strange too." And he looks kind of like concerned, but also questioning. Uh, he goes on to say, "You really don't remember anything, even when you drown your cell phone in water? You must be really sick." And she's like, "Sorry, I bought that you bought that cell phone for me. I really do have a problem." And he's like, "It's okay if you need a cell phone. I can buy another one for you." And so now she's like frustrated and she's like, "But the numbers in there are gone. I should have written them down, damn it." And Ren's like, "You don't have that many friends." Rude. Jeez.
Ah.
And I know most of them. Jeez, Ren, you're being terrible right now.
Maybe this is him like punishing her for like, you were really mean to
Maybe,
Hachi.
maybe this is how you punish a cat. This is how
Right.
you train a cat. This is it through guilt. Um, so he says, "Do you want to copy them?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And then he's like, "Out of the batteries," as if his phone is dead. And then she threw her cigarette at his head, and it hit him in the forehead. What is going on? Why? Strange punishment for each other. I don't know. It's like a whole new level of cat and mouse. Um, is Ren
Right.
just a mouse and not a dog at all? Oh,
Oh, he's a meese.
I think so.
It'd be so cute. Little cat, little like meese ears.
Right? Right?
He's so
Well, because we never really
cute.
figured out what kind of dog he was anyway.
No, he was just a vegetable. He's
Yeah,
just
he's only really been a vegetable, so he's the mouse. She's the cat,
he's
he's
the
the mouse.
mouse.
We got
This is
this.
true.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Explains why she chases him.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorted. Um,
Sorted, yeah?
and so then she's like, charge it now. And she brought out like, do you see this charger? It's an
Yeah, I
actual
do.
like full on charging dock.
Yep.
Oh my god. Um, and then she's like, so stupid. He says, but I'm going out now. You have practice tonight, right? Just ask someone for the numbers then. And she's like, but I really want to call Hachi soon. And he holds up a piece of paper. He's like, call? Just go and find her. Hachi is suffering from morning sickness and it's raining right now. So she's probably at home. And he gave her the address to the new apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's reading it and she says, Shiro-kan, huh? Where is it by? What station? She's like, 203? That's the same as Ren's apartment number. Easy to remember.
Oh, is it 203 in yours?
Or 302, sorry.
Okay, I was like, oh
Don't mind me
no.
reading things backwards. Um,
It's fine. It's fine.
and so then it says, because the rain is like dumping. That's the rain sound.
Yep.
And so then she glares outside with a bunch of dots, and Ren is like getting ready to leave, and she's like, Ren, give me a ride to the station. It's Shirokane Station. Uh, the Shirokane Station, he asks, and he's like, no. She's like, no, the station around there. I want to go by cups. And so then we have narration boxes, and it says, no matter how much I think about it, I still can't remember how I can be so careless. Yet the rain that's growing heavier and heavier, and the restless feeling I have without an umbrella, makes me want to see Hachi even more. Ren's car is parked right next to the apartment building. A short jog will bring us right to it. And then they're running through the rain, and then there's a psha 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 because it's the um the paparazzi, the mosquitoes are
Mm-hmm.
out. He's out buzzing around. I think mosquito is such a great like analogy for a paparazzi.
Yeah, because they're obnoxious.
Yeah, they are. So he got pictures of them, and he's like
Mm-hmm.
super relieved because his boss is a dick.
Yeah.
His boss is such an asshole. And
Yep.
it says lucky thanks to the rain. The trigger that will change people's fate has been pulled at this moment. And then
Mm.
there's a gun and a scene change, and it's the gun from Trigger by Trap Nest.
Yeah. It's Hachi, and she's in her apartment and she's looking at, I don't know if
CD
it's
pamphlet.
CD pamphlet. Okay,
Yeah,
because I'm like, is it that or is it a magazine?
it's a CD
CD
pamphlet. It's
pamphlet.
square. It's a square.
It's a square. Remember those kids?
No, they don't because they think that Nobu's the father. Oh my god, why don't we have a Mori fucking meme? I'm making that. I'm making a Mori meme, right?
But her phone is like, is it her phone? Yeah, her phone is ringing. Oh, an alarm's going off on her phone. Because she set an alarm so she could go meet Shen. So she picks it up and it goes beep, and she puts it in her purse and she walks downstairs. And there's he's not a concierge, but he's not a doorman either. What is this guy? Like, he's like a desk
He's the
man.
no, he's like reception. He's like the clerk.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
He's a
reception
clerk.
of the building. So like, he's the guy that will like get packages. He's the guy that will like stop people if he has to. You know what I mean? Like it's a fancy building. He's just like he's not the doorman, but he's the reception desk guy.
Okay, reception
Yeah.
desk guy. He's like, "Hello, Miss Ichinos. Are you going out?" And there's a little arrow that says Miss Ichinos, and she says, "Yeah. Could you call me a cab?" He says, "Sure thing. Where to?" To Shirogane Station. And that was a really quick scene because we flip right to Nana again, walking in the rain. She's walking and she's reading the things and she says, "This sucks. I can't find it. Ugh. It has to be around here somewhere." It's supposed to be a 20-minute walk from the station, but it seems like I've been walking for an hour. If I had money for an umbrella, I guess I could have caught a cab, but an umbrella is cheaper. And there's a little like tag on her umbrella, and it says, what is that, 500 yen?
Yeah.
And she says, I need an umbrella to go to practice anyway. So she's just walking around, um, and she sees like another lady. So she runs up to her and she's like, "Excuse me, I'm looking for this address. Do you know where this is?" And she turns around at the precisely wrong moment because behind her, going vroom in a taxi, is Hachi driving away. And there's think boxes, and it says, I got lost so many times in that pouring rain. By the time I found Hachi's place, I was soaking wet, even with the umbrella. She says, This sucks. Give me back my 500 yen. And then there's a stomp stomp. She's in because she's in the building now where Hachi lives, and the front desk man looks up, and he sees her, and he sees that she is carrying a bag with a ribbon on it, and she rings the one of the many doorbell things. She types in 302, and she's thinking, I just have to act normally, like nothing happened. Hachi thinks I'm mad and taking Nobu's side, that I'm being some vigilante, because she thinks I'm a hero of justice. But I'll show her that no matter what, the hero is always on the heroine's side. She thinks, sorry, Nobu, and there's a ding, and then her heart is beating like a lot, and she's blushing, and then there's a dot dot dots because there's silence. And she looks sad. She digs into her little like a side pouch fanny pack thing, and she writes a little note, and it says, I'll wait for you near the exit of Shirogane Dai till 7 p.m. Nana. And she puts it in the bag. And then she goes up to the front desk guy and she says, excuse me, the person I came to see seems to be out. When she comes back, can you please give this to her? And he says, sure. Which apartment is it for? And she says, number 302. And the guy says, what? There's no one living in that apartment right now. And Nana looks very, very like shock gasp. And he goes on to say, you must have the wrong apartment number. And she's thinking, but it's the same apartment number as Ren's. I couldn't get that wrong. And there's a scene change.
Scene change. We have Shin, and he's using a cheap lighter to light a cigarette, right? Of course, we have to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a Sir, and he's in a restaurant, and the server says, I'm sorry, but smoking is not allowed in this restaurant. And then there's like a thought box, plus he looks super underage. And then Shin just looks at it with like a bunch of dots.
Right.
Like, huh?
What? What do you mean I can
What do
no
you
smoke?
mean?
Why?
I'm only 15.
I am baby. I can
I am
smoke.
baby. I can do what I want. And so now he looks kind of like forlorn about it, and he takes a sip of his like coffee, cappuccino, whatever fancy drink he got, 'cause it's probably pretty fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and glances to the side, and then there's Hachi, and she's looking for him, and he like side smiles. He's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees him, and she gets happy, and then it says Komatsu Nana, and now we're back in the with the reception guy in the apartment
Mm-hmm.
with Nana, and she's angry, and she's very angry. She's like got like her fist like on the counter, eyes are all big, her eyebrows are like very cross. And
Yes.
he's here under that name. And she's like, how can that be? They moved in recently. And then she's like, oh yeah, it's probably registered under Takumi's name. What's Takumi's surname? Is Takumi even his real name?
Oh no, spiral.
Spiral. And now she yells at him. Wait. Yeah, now she yells at him. I thought maybe she was thinking it, but she's not. She's yelling at him. And she's like, how the hell am I supposed to know Takumi's surname? The Takumi of Trapnest. And this woman lives in apartment 302. I knew it already. You don't have to hide it from me. I'm their friend. And so now he's flustered and he's like, there are no residents like that here. I'm very sorry, but could you please leave? And it says 302. Ichinos Takumi, Nana. Visitors that have not made prior arrangements will not be allowed regardless of any reason. If the person or if it is someone suspicious, inform them that the apartment is unoccupied to prevent their returning visits. I mean, he's a rock. Okay, logic. Let's put on logic hat for a minute, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she's crazy. Okay? Hot-headed. We'll say hot-headed instead of crazy. That's better.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. He's a rock star. She's literally walking in with like a guitar,
Yeah.
and her clothes are probably name brand,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Logic. Logic says just take the fucking gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You could check it. You could like look in and be like, "There's no bombs in here," so that's good.
right? And so then it says there should be a limit to security.
Oops, I
Not
said
even
bombs.
having
It's 9/11.
of no, it's very fitting. There were no I mean, okay, conspiracy theory says that there were
Yeah.
bombs. So and she's like, not even Ren's building did this. And then she's thinking, damn it. And then the rain sound in the background. Sha, sha. That guy at the front desk definitely thought I was a fan of Takumi. It's all Takumi's fault. And then replaying, apartment number 302 is unoccupied at the moment. And so she's like in her head. He doesn't give anything a chance and just cuts it off completely. Must be Takumi's doing to get rid of people like that. When most people hear that, they'll assume that they've made a mistake. In this apartment where the world believe in this apartment where the world believes is empty. Wow, okay, the whole world.
The
I guess
whole world.
the whole world
Oh man.
will live a hollow Hachi, like a ghost who doesn't even realize it's already dead. No, but see, here's the thing though, is if Hachi was home because you called the apartment, she would have fucking answered.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
come on. She's not home.
She's not home, girl.
Like, you called the apartment because you knew the number. Nobody answered because nobody's there. Because she actually left.
Yeah, but she's thinking I got it wrong because I'm forgetting things.
Right. A woman who's only alive for Takumi and the child that is soon to be born. A life like that, I don't think will ever be a happy one. Can we have scene change?
Yeah. And it's
Back to the cafe.
yeah, back to the cafe, and it's Shin, and he says, "What? You're getting married?" And Hachi nods. And he says, "Are you pregnant?" And she said, "You figured that one out." And he says, "Well, I can't think of any other reason for Takumi to propose." She says, "I guess you're right." And he says, "But are you sure it's Takumi's baby?" And she looks over at him, and then she says, "Probably."
And she says maybe.
Hmm, maybe. But look at her face, like she knows, right?
She
Like
knows.
she knows.
She's just in love with Nobu. She has a different kind of love for each of them.
Mm-hmm. And Shin is like, and at first he's like, "Oh man," like the face he has is kind of like, "Oh
Yeah.
man," but
Super
then he's
concerned, super compassionate, super worried for his friend, and then he leans back nonchalantly and like gets an air to his attitude.
mm-hmm. He just says, "Get an abortion. Tell Takumi the truth and break up with him. Getting married doesn't mean you'll be happy, you know." And Hachi says, "Well, Takumi knows everything." And there's a beat. And Shin's like, "He knows and he still wants to get married? I can't believe it." And she's got like a little sweat drop and she's like, "But we're getting married cuz we accept each other and the situation." And now Shin's got the dot dot dots. And she says, "Am I totally weird? Takumi's a pretty weird guy too." And Shin says, "No. Obviously, I'm not in a position to say what's weird or wrong about anything. So don't listen to me. And Hachi, I think she's probably over there in her head right now, but
She's very much in her head. She's very much in her
yeah.
head thinking.
Mm-hmm. And then she says, "Was your family situation like the situation I'm in now?" And Shin gets big eyes. And she says, "Shin, I think everyone's been avoiding telling you about me because I'm sure they're totally pissed at me. But also because they don't want to hit a sore spot for you. It's not that they're just leaving you out in the cold, except they kind of were."
No, they very much were. But like this is her perspective of it and she's trying to be compassionate.
True. There's a clink as she sets her drink down and she says, "I didn't want to tell you either, Shin. I knew you'd be against me having the baby. But that's why I thought I should tell you the truth. It must have been so hard for your mother, too, but I believe she really wanted to have you, Shen." And he just looks at her and says, "I know that. Don't treat me like a child." And she gets like
She
this,
looks so
right?
she's got like a lizard eye.
Right? She's like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm sorry."
She's like looking at him like a bearded dragon.
Right? Just like, "Oh, sorry." But then she's like, "Oh, okay, then please tell me, Shen, how you came to think that your mother shouldn't have had you." And he just kind of side eyes her, and she says, "I definitely do not want my child to think like that." And then he just looks the other direction, he closes his eyes, and I think Hachi's still talking, and she says, "But if the baby isn't really Takumi's, I think Takumi will suffer too. And I think my child will be suspicious if they don't look like him. But even if that happens, I still want to have hope that if we can try, we can have a happy family." And Shin's just very quiet right now.
He's in his head.
He's in
He's
his
also
head.
he's trying to process it, right? But I think it's like he's trying to process what's going on because no everybody's left him in the dark, quite literally.
Mhm.
But he's also like Shin is very good at seeing from the other person's perspective.
Mhm.
Like out of all of them, Yasu aside,
Yeah.
right? Because Yasu's never really a part of the drama,
Mhm.
right? And they go to Yasu, but Shin is always present during the drama.
Yeah.
And like we've seen it with like Shin giving Nobu relationship advice. Shin is very, very wise. Like he's
Mhm.
obviously lived a traumatic life. Like trauma actually like is connected to like early life wisdom, right?
Mhm.
And so like I think he's trying to like see everything from Hachi's perspective.
Mhm.
And something else that Shin is really good at that is very much beyond his years and something that even some people never end up developing within themselves is he's very good at leading with compassion.
Yeah. It's so lovely.
Yeah, Shin is a adorable little king for sure.
Mm. Mhm. I think it's see like out of all the boys, Shin has always been my favorite. I
I
don't
mean
know.
like
It's
like
just
I mean I don't I mean like yeah, Yasu, but like I don't actually have a favorite because like they all have different qualities that I think are amazing.
mhm. That's fair.
It's
Yeah.
just I would date Yasu. There's a difference.
Right. Right. So she says, "Is that wishful thinking?" And he says, "Yes." And she like blushes, like, "Oh, damn, no." And he says, "But really, don't just listen to me. Even if the situation is similar, things will be different because you're different people. So you just have to do things your way." And she looks down and she says,
Oh, he
"Yeah,
says,
I'm
so just
sorry."
follow what your heart tells you. And
Hmm.
mine. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice
Yeah.
too.
Right?
And she just apologizes and he looks sad. And then he says, "I wish I'd been born as your child, Hachi."
I know. But you are her child.
Right? Like we've established this already, but no, but he actually like volumes later, he's finally
He
like,
realized he caught up. He caught
yeah,
up.
he did. He just
His
like,
mom.
can you just be my mom?
Right.
And she gets like big eyes, and he goes back to sipping his fancy cappuccino, and Hachi is just crying, but not like freak out crying, just like weep, like maybe happy tears.
Right, but then we find out something big about Shin.
Yep. We have a scene change because there's like a shot of them sitting at the
Oh, does
table.
yours? Yeah, the shot is sitting at the table, and it says Okazaki Shinichi's mother killed himself or killed herself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's tough. So
Yeah.
like, Hachi is his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Hachi's the mom he never had.
Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. And then it says that happened not long after she gave birth to Shinichi. Who Shinichi's real father is still remains a mystery. If you want to know, I can further my investigation, but since it happened outside this country, it's not that easy to find out. And it's like an investigator talking to the yucky mosquito paparazzi man with this spiky greasy hair, and I don't know if this like spot on his face is supposed to be like a mole with hair.
I think
Like
it's
I
a.
don't
I know. I don't think it's one of those. I think it's like there's a certain type of like birthmark that is pretty much a mole, but it kind of always looks like a smear on your
which
face.
would be
Like,
a mole with hair.
oh, I guess
Yeah,
they could do that. Yeah.
right. I don't know. It just makes him look more grimacing, honestly.
It's probably why she did it.
Right? And his skinny little mustache,
Yep.
with all his wrinkles and his eyebrows and everything. But his spiky hair is what gets me, with his
Spiky
receding
hair.
hairline. Yeah.
He probably
Um,
he probably smells like a lot of cigarettes,
he
honestly.
smells like stale cigarettes. No, he
Yep.
does. He absolutely and like he smells like stale cigarettes and hair gel.
Oh, bleh.
And he probably tries to cover up the stale cigarette smell with like a really bad cologne.
Mm-hmm. And you're
You
like,
know?
yeah, you're like, you don't have to bathe in it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, like seriously though. And so he tells the investigator guy, "No, this is enough for the ground shaking story. Most importantly, find things on Nana's mother." And he hands him like a envelope of money. And the investigator guy says, "Thank you." And says, "But Kudo-san, if Blast doesn't debut in mainstream, all these materials will go to waste. Aren't you afraid that your money may go down the drain?" And he's like, "Just watch. They'll make a name. But it seems like Gaia is not letting them debut yet. Then let me give them a hand." So in reality, like the faded expression of this is the Demon Lord's doing, because the band wants to debut and Gaia won't let them.
Yeah,
Right now, the Demon Lord is working through the Mosquito Man.
true.
He really is.
But it's such a yucky way to do
I
it.
know that, but you want to know what? Like that's not the way it works, right? Like it's not a good or a bad thing when you ask for something in like I mean, it's even how magic works. Like,
Hmm.
you know, if you ask for something and you're not descriptive enough in how you want it to happen, it's going to happen by any means if it's fated to, or if you can bend it, bend wills.
Hmm.
But like, like it's still going to happen faster because they keep begging for it to happen faster. They never said what means it would happen faster by.
Hmm.
Demon Lord is blessing them.
Right.
Sometimes blessings are a curse. Um,
True.
I mean, magic logic checks out. That's all I'm saying.
No, no, it's true. It's like you should have been when you wrote the thing on the tree,
Yeah, no, that's exactly it though. Like your ask wasn't clear enough.
right? Demon Demon Lord was like, I just read like one little
I'm giving you
thing.
literally what you asked for. You never said how. It's like
Right.
any story that actually admits there's magic in it.
Mhm.
Mhm. So investigator guy is like, even if they debut, their sales probably won't be great. If they have great appearances, they might get some attention from those who look at looks, but those who enjoy music will dislike them. Plus, their songs aren't the type that your average schoolgirl would sing in karaoke. And Mosquito Man says, Dr. Mosquito, that's his name.
Dr.
I
Mosquito.
don't care. I don't care that he just said his name. I don't care. Like he's Mosquito, he's Dr. Mosquito, and then his little sidekick is Mosquito Man.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
right? So Dr. Mosquito says, "Why do you sound like a music critic?" And the investigator has a bunch of dots and it says, "Shut up." Um, regardless of the day and age, what the crowd asks of the media is the same, and that's exciting, dramatic topics. Mosquito Man goes on a monologue here, and he's like, "Those who are in the biz nowadays." Oh God.
Ah, we
Nowadays,
are
all
again.
right, all think they're artists, arrogant young people who have wrong views. It's so annoying. A goody two shoe group like Trap Nest taking over the world is so boring. I'm going to challenge Takumi's fame. What? Oh, it's Dr. Mosquito. He really is a villain.
Yeah, no, he is.
What does he have? I mean, like, sure, Takumi is easy to hate, but like,
Yeah,
he's talking like he knows him, like he slighted him or something.
he says
Um,
in one he just wants to break Takumi's face.
oh my God.
Like, well, I'm like, yeah, why? I don't know. Maybe it's because uh Takumi's done such a good job of making sure that the reputation is just so on par.
It's
And he's
so
like,
polished, yeah, and he's not
yeah,
able to get in on it. Yeah,
yeah. He's like, it's not
probably it.
dirty. I don't like it.
That's probably the spite. That's probably the spite is that he's not able to find anything on them.
Yeah, which good,
Right? Good job, Takumi. Gold
right?
star. And she's always like, anyway, look forward to tomorrow. Wake up, everybody. And investigator guy says, I thought search isn't published until the day after tomorrow. And Dr. Mosquito says, I sold half of what I found to TV stations. Along with the story I dug up. My wallet is now very full. Heart.
Oof.
Right? There's like a little music note above his head. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which means he was like sing-songing that shit. He's like,
right?
sold half the scoop, the TV station.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Um,
Gross.
investor guy, he looks kind of like irritated. I don't even know what that face is. I don't. He's got the creepy anime glasses anyway. So like the ones that would like give a high shine when he's like
Yep.
high school girls. Um,
Right. 1, 2, 3. High school girls.
my God, I can't believe like that's one thing from like the new Fruits Basket. They did kind of like tone that part down,
They
but
really
like,
did.
but they still like kind of included it, which I was really surprised about. Um, but it's not as bad as I would say like yeah, first Fruits Basket is pretty bad, right? But it is not as bad as Ozymandias. The teacher, gym teacher guy in Ozymandias, he is the worst. Like he is, or he's not. He's a teacher or a janitor or something. Because the gym teacher's a woman, and like he is the worst when it comes to watching those girls work out. It is so creepy. Um,
I mean, I'll have to take your word for it. I wish Shannon was here right now because she loved Ozymandias. She
I
would know
love
exactly what you're talking
Ozymandias.
about.
I
I get,
love Ozymandias. It's so good. It's
I,
so good.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't get into it. I was
Well, I
like,
mean, like it's very unique because it's a bunch of like the way that it's written before like it was an anime is
hmm
it's just short comic strips.
oh, that makes
Right.
sense.
It's comic strips. So that's why it's animated in like these short clips almost. Is because the manga is comic strips,
That makes sense. No
not
wonder I'm
chapters.
like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah, it's super fast. Like it's very much like ADHD like coded.
Fair.
Yeah. Um, so the investigator guy, like, I don't know what this expression is on his face.
I think it's mostly like just like, oh God,
Oh
I'm so.
God.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like he's done dealing with this guy. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
over
like
it.
over it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're doing things under the table again. Digging for news isn't even your goal. It's all about the money." He says like underneath the bubble, under like the
Mm-hmm.
little side note. Um, and so Dr. Mosquito gets like upset. I think he's upset. I
Yeah,
think
he's mad. He's just
he's
like
mad. I mean, he always looks kind of like grimacing, so you know. He looks kind of wily. He's like, my goal is to spice up the biz.
Oh no, he's the old man who's been talking about the biz.
The biz. Um, and he's like, and raise the sales of the magazine. The report that will reveal the relationship will pique everyone's curiosity, and by then, everyone will want a picture. That's more precious. And the investigator guy looks kind of shocked. And see, he has the empty, creepy glasses.
Yep, he's got the schling glasses.
Anyway, and he's like, ah,
Ah.
you got a picture of them together? And now Dr. Mosquito looks very, very satisfied with himself. And he's like, it's got a really nice feeling to it.
Ugh, so smug.
He's so greasy. He's greasy.
He's greasy, yeah, yeah.
Greasy. And
Icky.
so we have a scene change.
It's like it's a very, very small one. Um, it's
Oh, this
it's
one was super small
Nana.
too, honey. It's fine.
Oh, that's fair. And it's Nana. She's sitting outside the building and it's still raining. And the rain's going shh. She's thinking in the think box says, I waited for Hachi in front of her building until the sun went down, but I never saw her. And she's thinking, now I really am turning into a stalker. God damn it. So she gets up and she goes to buy a train ticket. And it goes beep, and she thinks, I'll come back tomorrow when I get off work. I'll have a little more time before practice. If I get her phone number from Yasu, I'll be able to see her. It's not like I'll never see her again. There's always tomorrow. And guess who else is here at the train station? Hachi and Shin. And she says, I'm sorry I talked your ears off, but I'm glad we got to talk about things. And he says, housewives are hungry for someone to talk to. And she's thinking like sweat drop with the dot dot dots. And he says, you shouldn't just stay home all day thinking about your baby. You have to keep contact with the outside world too. She says, you're right. The only time I go out is for groceries and my doctor appointments. And he says, why don't you take a class or something? You can make new friends and it might be fun. And she claps her little hands and there's a flower and she says, yeah, that's a good idea, Heart. Good thing you told me. Thanks, man. Heart. And she says, work hard on the band, Shin, and go easy on the ladies. And he says, even with hard work, impossible things are still impossible. And she's got like a little like angry face and she says, don't talk like that. I know that someday Blass is gonna rule Japan. And he smiles at her, genuine. And he says, then, madam, let us meet again, avoiding the eyes of your husband. Call me anytime. There's all like these hearts and sparkles,
Yeah, because they're cute.
right? And she says, yeah. And then
She's
he will.
blushing
Yeah, she's blushing.
because he's adorable.
He's adorable and charming. And he walks through the oh
Subway
god,
like ticket booth,
ticket
like the
thingy.
the thing with the bars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called either. And then there's these pauses and there's blah 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 people around and she's watching him go and she looks down and then she yells out, "Hey Shen!" And he turns around and she says, "How's Nobu doing?" And he just looks like sad for like a split
He looks
second.
like heartbroken for a second, like destroyed.
Yeah. But then he like and then he just goes smiling and he's like, he just plays guitar all the time. It's so loud I can't sleep. And then she's like happy crying.
She's happy crying. There's a
Yeah.
thought box that says, "The night is so long. Hopefully it'll be sunny tomorrow." And then there's a jaw re 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 re, and it's 7 a.m. So I guess it's the next day.
Yeah.
And then there's a click, and it's Nobu, and he was asleep next to a bunch of sheet music, and he was hitting his alarm. And then he goes to step up, and it's Shin, and he steps on Shin because Shin's sleeping at the foot of his bed, or at
Yep.
the side of his bed, where his
Yeah.
feet go. And he's like, sorry, because Shin's like, ow!
And he looks so small over there. He's like,
He's so
"Ew."
tiny. Yeah, he looks like a little boy. I mean, he's not a little boy. He's a young adult. But anyway,
Yeah.
teenagers didn't even exist a few generations ago. So thank you very much. And then there's a bang and a whoa from Shin because he like looks at the clock and he already has a cigarette lit and he's like 7. He just slept. And then he's thinking this in his head, and he's like, and he's going to work already. And then there's a bunch of dots, and Shin's like super tired. His eyes aren't even open, and there's a chirp, chirp. And then he's like, hopefully there will be no work today. Housewives sometimes summon me in the daytime.
Yep.
And he goes to turn on the TV, and then it's Nana. Nana's face is singing, and she's singing on the TV, and his eyes are huge seeing it, and they get all whited out, and it's them performing, and it's like loud. You see music notes everywhere, and then it's Nobu, and he's got a water bottle, and he's like, "Why are you watching our video so early in the morning?" And Shin is like shocked, and he's like, "No, we're on TV." And Nobu's like, "That's great." And then Shin is like, "Nana, channel?" And Nobu's like, "Wake up. That kind of channel doesn't exist."
It's because it's Channel
And
7.
it is Channel 7. Um and so then the news anchor is like, "Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning 7." Morning 7 at 7.
Yeah.
Um and so then on the TV it's Ren, and now Nobu also looks shocked. And the news person says, Ren, the guitarist of popular band Trap Nest, has been found to be in a relationship. Ren's love is the lead vocalist of his former band, Blackstones. A group Gaia is trying to debut in mainstream music. And then we have a shot of Hachi. She's got her little mask on, so she doesn't have morning sickness. And her eyes are all big, and it says Nana. And then it's the picture of Nana, Channel 7. And she's got a TV she's a flat screen. She's a flat screen TV in her fucking kitchen, okay? This is rich bitch shit.
Yep.
For
I'm
the
like,
year
that's
2001, this is
fancy.
rich bitch shit, okay? That means that
Yep.
was a plasma TV.
Right?
My mom had a little plasma TV when they first came out. And then I ended up like inheriting the little plasma TV when Finn was born. So that would have been 2006. It was still a big deal in 2006. And I used to play Pikmin on it in bed, recovering from squeezing a giant baby out of my body.
Wait, how much did Finn weigh when he came out?
Almost 10 pounds.
Oh
He
no.
was like
Really?
he was like 2 weeks late. Yeah, he's taking his little Taurus fucking time. Um,
Yeah.
And so there's like thought box things, and it says, the thick clouds are gone. Suddenly, on this day, exposed under spotlight. I'm going to keep going if that's
Oh yeah, we're almost done.
okay. And now it's Yasu watching the TV in his apartment. He also has a flat screen TV.
He's not happy.
He is not happy. Yasu's pissed, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughtbox says the platform we're standing on is not a stage, but a boxing ring. The fight.
Yeah.
And it says tears and scolding still rings in my ears. It's really noisy. Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So now they have to debut
Yep.
because the Demon Lord willed it. Um But anyway, thanks
Yeah.
for coming.
Thanks for coming. This
Chapter 33,
chapter 33.
nine
We
11, 2001.
2001. They had better stuff on their TV the next day than we did.
They did. Their TV was so much cooler,
Yeah. They had a Nana scandal.
right?
It
I would
was
have much preferred a Nana scandal.
oh, me too.
That would have been way more fun.
True.
And not,
Uh
made an entire group of people be hunted and hated for years to come.
years.
It's still going on. It's still
Yeah.
going on. If you
And
ever like, just be kind because, like, especially with people from that area of the world specifically. I mean, not to give it away, but they are pretty vocal about it. They intentionally put American flags in their spaces so that they, it's actually a tactic to keep them safe. So
yeah.
just be super kind to them.
Yeah. And those people, some of those people are my family. So, you
Yeah,
know.
I have family, like my Buke Baba like hid a lot of his stuff after that. So,
Oh.
you know, just be kind. That's it. I guess back to the beginning of the chapter also. Don't be a dick.
Right, don't be a dick. Nana, this podcast has a TikTok now. I made it
Um,
last night.
cool.
So
We have a TikTok.
we have a TikTok. I can't.
I've been terrible at social media, but I have a feeling that now that planets are direct and we're not getting blasted by 1.5 billion of retrogrades again.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm also of the consensus that, like, when inner planets, like personal planets, go retrograde, we should all just, like, go on vacation.
I think we should too. Like,
Like, in general,
honestly.
like, we should all just stop,
Yep.
like, and just take a break because, like, it causes so many problems in our lives, and the lack of motivation and the miscommunication and all of the things that go along with the personal planets when they are on
Mhm.
vacation, we should also be on vacation.
I agree.
So, yeah. But thanks for being here.
Find us on all of the social media things, guys. We,
Focus on
you
the
know,
things, and I'm gonna do better. We're gonna do better at not getting sick and being alive.
yeah, we're good. They figures we would get sick during retrograde season.
Bro, seriously though.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
stupid.
So,
But yeah,
thanks. Goodbye
thanks.
forever.
Goodbye forever.
But we have comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think our favorite troll is back. No, there's not a lot of comments. There's not a lot of comments for this chapter. We have Miu Miu. When Hachi asked Shin how Nobu was doing, I started tearing up.
Mm.
Oh, there's Troll Hachiko. So that
Ah.
comes, right? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I did the first time I read it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I cried a lot the first time I read it.
Mm.
Like, a lot. Yeah, Hachiko says good.
Wow.
That was it. Yeah, that's it. We have Urasei. The reporters slash paparazzi make my blood boil. Yeah, Dr. Mosquito and Mosquito Boy are no good.
Nope.
Well, Mosquito Boy, it's not really his fault. He needs to, like, pay rent.
It's true.
He probably wanted to be a real photographer and ended up there.
True. But we're
Right?
not. But we're not going to pay last year's rent. This
Right?
year's rent.
Right? Kimchi is good says everything is going downhill so fast. I feel sick to my stomach. I don't know. I feel like we're starting to, like, I don't feel like we're still going downhill right now.
We're still climbing.
I think like we're in a valley.
That's fair.
Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, I mean, like, it's a roller coaster. It's not just a hill.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like we're kind of going up again. Like, we kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
Because now, like, the fame is coming, so that's going up. Like, even though it's by, like, ill means, it's still the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not cascading down the big hill yet, guys. Sorry.
Not yet.
Not yet. Um, Quan Aaron says there's just too much suffering going on. I hate how controlling Takumi is. I feel like again, we're not at a peak suffering moment.
No, we're really not like that. We're actually in a lull.
I would say like in this chapter actually a lot more has been resolved than previous chapters. The
Yeah.
biggest issue overall though is still the lack of communication. And like we can't really blame Nana right now cuz she tried,
Mm-hmm.
but like it was also out of urgency. Everybody
Yeah.
moves in so much urgency, right? Hachi wasn't home. Okay, let me just go. I'll try
Mm-hmm.
again tomorrow. What a
Yeah.
novel fucking concept. No, but really.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, go to Gaia where you practice and be like, "Hey, can can I like either get these cups to Takumi or go find Takumi? Can you give these to Nana, please? Thanks."
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, go find an assistant. Go find your assistant to go to the other assistant.
Yeah.
Like there are ways around it. Use your little brains. You got two of them. Okay, you can use both of them. And like, sure, I don't know. The comment of Takumi being controlling in this chapter and the last chapter, I can't get on board with. Is it controlling
Mm.
or is it being protective?
Yeah, I think in this instance, I'm like, no, not controlling.
That
He's,
is like protecting. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
keeping
very famous.
safe.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't
and
want
fans are
crazy
crazy.
fans? Yeah, they get so crazy. Like even though Hachi's like a non-famous
It
nobody,
doesn't
quote
matter, but if
unquote.
they find out about her,
Yeah, they could try to like do that like creepy thing where they like try to like, be her friend. Like, "Oh, let's be friends," and then
or
and
Takumi might have a crazy fan who would totally murder her.
that too. That also.
Takumi's fans like to love Takumi, you'd have to be kind of crazy. So I don't know. Yeah, so like there's a few comments to that comment of there's just so much suffering going on. I hate how controlling Takumi is. Well, the first one says this isn't really controlling because she can go wherever she wants. LOL. Yeah, she also just left without like
Right.
permission. Like,
Right.
and so that person though responded to that comment and was like, "You can't be serious." And like the comment that says like she's allowed to go wherever she wants has 4 dislikes.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to know who disliked it. Nanshi, Kwan Aaron, Osaki, and Felix. Osaki though responded to the one she can go everywhere and wherever she wants, and then Osaki says he's purposely keeping the people who love her away from her. It's been like 48 hours.
Right?
And so that initial comment or that initial response says the reason Nana wouldn't come in is because the guy thought she was a crazy fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. She didn't like tell anybody. Ren knew, but it's not like Ren called the reception guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. It's her
No.
fault for like putting her phone in the fucking sink.
Yeah.
Like it's a course of events. And then our favorite troll Hachiko says, um, stop reading with your eyes closed, please. No, dude, this is like a logical this is like this person is logical. Like this is actually like a logic thing.
Yeah.
Like Nana couldn't go in not because of Takumi's like message. Yes, Takumi says if it's not prearranged, it's a no. If like the
Mm-hmm.
person is suspicious in any way, a person showing up with a gift that they've never seen before,
Yeah.
they have no recollection of it,
Yeah, they
like
didn't she
they
didn't give
turn him
like a
away.
list. Yeah, it
And
wasn't
like,
on a list of like these are the people that I know,
yeah,
these are the people that yeah, that you can totally let in because it's fine. And then she screamed Takumi from Trap Nest lives here
yeah,
like at the top of her
because she
lungs.
couldn't remember his last name.
She's
Like
like, I don't care.
she did it, right? What's a fan gonna do? Scream Takumi from Trap Nest. A fan would probably know his last name, honestly, to be quite frank. Um,
Honestly.
you know,
I just like how annoyed she was. She's like, that guy thinks I'm a Takumi fan. I hate it.
right? Uh,
Oh man.
Nanchi makes a comment and says, "Oh no, the paparazzo."
Yes, the Papyracchio.
Leah is back and says, "Ah man, why isn't the extra chapter about Naoki here? It was really cute to show us how Trap Nest was formed from his eyes. I know, because Naoki is precious. Naoki is the older version of Shin.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
He really is. And then they say, also, I love Nana and Ren's relationship so much. They're so cute. I hope the media doesn't affect it.
Uh, uh,
I hope you were buckled in a while back.
yeah, yeah. Please,
I mean,
please,
this was a year ago, so I'm pretty sure you already know, like, where you're at in this.
right? But I feel like I should be a stewardess giving hand signals right now,
Mhm.
like, please do this, and the life vests are over here. The exits are this way. When the
Oh
seatbelt
man.
sign is on, please put it on.
Right? Please. Please. You should have already, it was on a while ago. It's a bumpy ride.
Right, right. Like the turbulence, like just wear it the whole flight.
It's
Just
it's the whole, yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing,
it's
okay?
a
It's
whole
a
thing.
whole fucking thing. So Angie says, "It's crazy how close to someone you can be yet so far away. The way Nana crossed paths with her twice, like damn." Anywho,
Mm.
um she could just, not ruin her phones. Um
Yeah, but I mean, she kind of blacked out there.
yeah, she did. I mean, she just granted, but she was already anti-phone before that. So,
Yeah,
um
yeah.
and she says, "Anywho, it also makes me kind of sad that no one helps Shin find an actual job, even though it could be hard to find a job at a young age. He doesn't need to be a prostitute. For one, he's a
Uh,
sex worker. Um, like, I mean, okay, I have
I
so
mean,
many.
yeah, it's like sure, but
And
also
somebody, Strawberry, disliked that comment, by the way, even though Strawberry
strawberry.
is on Hachiko's team, pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. Like for some reason, Strawberry and Hachiko, like you need to rename yourselves, you traitors.
Right,
You can't be a cute little glass and adorable little dog. You,
right.
you got you, Hachi and Strawberry. You are the mosquito, the the Doctor
They're
Mosquito.
Mosquito and Mosquito Boy.
Yes, yes, we've got
Uh,
it.
but yeah, I mean, in regard to finding Shin, like an actual job. What is an actual job? Sex work is an actual job, so like we can clarify that out the
Mm-hmm.
gate. And I honestly think that he has a better head for it than a lot of people who are in sex work.
True.
Like it does take a certain type of person. Um
Yeah, because
it takes a certain type of mentality and he really does have a good head about it.
yep.
Um Two, he has been groomed. Three,
Mm-hmm.
he has been taking care of himself his entire life.
Yeah.
Yes, he has a young age. That is a problem. Again, groomed, young, right? Age of consent, we've already gone over age of consent in Japan. We already know that sex work is illegal in Japan. Um,
Well, that's
I
like the.
mean, there's red light districts, right? But like that's, I don't know, its own thing.
Yeah, like the first thing that kind of cropped into my head was just like, oh, they should like do the thing where they try to give him a different job. I'm like, what makes you think he would take it? If they were like, we have a respectable job for you, he might just be like, I like my job.
Does like his
So,
job.
Yeah. So
He does
it's
like there's that part of it, and he probably makes, I mean, most likely makes a hell of a lot more money than
yeah.
he would like working minimum wage, like having to work an insane amount, which means he wouldn't have the time or energy to be a musician.
Mhm.
Like, let's real facts, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
It's like you can't make him do it. He wouldn't
and
go.
like it is such a complicated thing because yes, groomed, yes, very young, but also the language, it is an actual job,
Mm. Mhm.
right? Like, first and foremost, it is a legitimate job. It
It's a
is like the
real.
oldest profession. It's how the West was built,
Mhm.
actually, right? It's how
Actually.
so many cities were actually built. They
Mhm.
were built by women. Women bring in the money because men are
Yes.
gross. And yes, this is like a reversed thing, but he's groomed by a woman.
Mhm.
So there's that part of it. Um, I don't know. I feel very like that we've talked about this so many times. I feel very like it's so complicated
Yeah. It could
because
just
like
wouldn't it
we
be
can't
that
shame him.
person's.
Don't
Mm,
shame him.
yeah, that I don't know. That comment feels like what do we also kind of talk about? Like this person's probably coming from more like their own personal morals,
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why they sensationally feel that they need to phrase it this particular way. It's like, oh, you're uncomfortable with what he does, which is
Right.
that's fine.
That's fine.
Hmm.
It's like your feelings are valid, right? Your
Yeah.
feelings are totally valid. Like honestly, I wish that we didn't have to, or we didn't live in a world that was actually built on sex work,
Hmm.
right? Like, and that there was more freedom in it, and that there was enough privilege for people who do this work to do it
Yeah.
purely out of choice, because the
Yeah.
majority do it out of necessity.
Yeah. We will want like
Right.
safety and all that, because there
But the
should
only way
be.
to do that is to first start with recognizing that it is an actual job and they should like have health care, and they should like they should be able to pay taxes, and like it should be legitimized, and then we can talk about like age regulations and things like that, but we can't until it's at least acknowledged that it is actual work,
Hmm.
right? And then also this is a different country
Hmm.
that has very different laws and different perspectives and different develop. It's still an imperial country.
Hmm.
And so, like, that's its own thing because, like, there is a higher volume of sex work within imperialized spaces,
True.
because of the taboo that's attached to it, right? But, um, I mean, I think that the fact that Yazwa even created Shin as a character with the work that he does is bold and beautiful and deserves to be recognized, and that Shin as a character should not be shamed. That's it,
Hmm.
regardless of age. He's more mature than most of them.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Um,
had to be.
yeah.
And that's the sad part. That's the part we should be talking about. If you want to
Yeah.
criticize anything about Shin's life and not Shin specifically, that the misfortune of his circumstance is something that we could talk on.
I mean, for sure. Like, we just sort of breezed by it kind of a little bit in this chapter, which is like his mom committed suicide. Now,
His
why
mom committed suicide, and he
would
was
she do
raised
that?
by a man that doesn't even recognize him and that he's not even sure if he's his father.
Yeah. Like,
Which we were already introduced to that man because Yasu met him. And he's a
hmm
fucking prick. And he wants
he's
nothing to do.
yeah, he's terrible. He's just
He wants to
like,
get rid of him as soon as he can.
hmm like, don't get in the way of my other child, my legitimate child.
Right. Like,
Which
I
I
honestly do think that that is Shin's father, but he sees him as illegitimate because it was an affair.
interesting. So
Yeah,
so
I
that
do. That's
that
my opinion.
is that is his kid,
But
but
he's illegitimate. He's not recognized because he's a high standing family. He can't have a bastard.
oh, gotcha. It's not.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So, mm, yes.
Right.
He's like raised in the. He
So
was
he
raised in
doesn't
the
own
States too.
him. Like it doesn't take ownership of him like he does his other child.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not on the birth certificate sort of deal because
Yeah.
illegitimate. Biologically, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimate, no,
Yeah.
because of image.
And I wonder if that. I don't know if the suicide part goes into the whole like the
Probably,
like yeah the
probably
pressure. Yeah.
postpartum depression on top of like being a
Probably.
mistress, not being
Yeah.
probably being told I'm not going to take care of you or the child.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably in love with him. She probably fell for whatever he was saying. He might have also been in love with her, but like it's against like, social standing and standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of those complicated things that we don't know that we can just make up and assume because like, stories are told.
Yeah. That's interesting too, because I always thought it was the opposite direction. I always thought it was like she was his wife, the wife of this businessman, Shinichi's father, or,
Oh, no,
father, quote unquote.
no, she was in a different country. He was
Yeah,
born
I
in a
thought it
different
was,
country.
yeah. So the way I always kind of saw it, this was just my head
Yeah.
headcanon. It doesn't even have to be a thing, but like my head headcanon was always like, they were like he's a businessman, right? So maybe he goes over to New York City like a lot. He brings his wife with him, and while he leaves his wife there to go shopping at Bloomingdale's. Bloomingdale's is old, but whatever. He's like, go do the things while I go to the big business thing. She's lonely, and she finds somebody, has an affair, has a child. He knows that that's not his kid, and then
The
the
opposite
whole
way. Okay.
time, yeah, it was like the whole time she's like pregnant or whatever, like maybe he had a suspicion, and then like as soon as the child is born he sees that it doesn't look Japanese, quote unquote, and then like the mental abuse begins, and
Okay.
then
See,
she
like I always
takes
thought
her
his mother
life.
was European.
I mean, that's fine too. That's fine too. I
And that's why he was raised partially like what, German? No,
no,
that's
that's Momiji.
that's Momiji. Well, there's a lot of similarities between Shin and Momiji. Um,
Yeah, well
but
also
like
with like
no, because like
yeah,
remember when he's like helping Miwako? No.
not me walking.
Yukiko?
Oh,
No, that's the sister.
Masato.
Masato.
Yeah, when he's
When
helping Masato.
he's helping Masato with her schoolwork, right? He was helping her with what? And then she was like, "Your accent is different," you know?
Yeah, I mean,
And
oh,
how do
I
you know
guess,
that?
yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Like for me, I just always thought like I thought maybe he just like left his wife in the States. Like, don't
See,
fucking
like,
come back.
I very much like it's always been in my head that like he has his Japanese family
Oh, okay. Yeah.
because he is like very like elite,
Mm-hmm.
very prestigious, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like he would have to marry a high power Japanese like into a high power Japanese family if he's of a high power Japanese family,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like that's just how I always just assumed.
I mean,
And
that's
that
fine.
Shin's mom is like European and that's why he was born in another country and was
All right.
raised in another country for a while. And then like it got too much for her. She killed herself. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason that Shin's dad, quote unquote, had to take him was because he had nowhere else to go.
Mm. I can see that too. I mean, either way, he ends up back with, this man who,
But he doesn't consider him his father because he was never treated like his child,
no, like,
right?
ever. So he's like, I just do what I want.
I
It's,
don't know if
oh,
anybody else has like the headcanon or has like cited from chapters
yeah,
the story arc of what that is because I think that we have enough information within the chapters. I'm just, just never really tried to pin down. I never combed through for that reason, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I never
yeah.
paid attention to the story for Shin's story because we don't even have a Shin story,
Hmm.
which would be nice, honestly, is if we had like a story for each of them.
It would be, and maybe it would, I guess, Yeah, because no one is
But
talking
flush it
about
out.
that, are they? Yeah,
Right.
they're only just focused in on his sex work, and that's like it. It's just
Yeah.
like, what about all the other shit that's
What about all
actually.
of the things that created him to be who
Hmm.
he is now? Right?
Yeah, but he also said, like, he tells Hachi too, like, he knows that his mom wanted him, and I think that's interesting.
Well, yeah, because his mom didn't have an abortion.
Oh, that's what you're thinking. Oh,
Uh-huh. His mom chose to have him. And if she was like a mistress,
yeah,
like he would have tried to force her to have an abortion because again of that legitimacy.
yeah. I don't know. I think that sometimes the abortion thing is like complicated because I've met people a lot of the time that like they regret having their children.
Well,
So
yeah,
like,
I mean, like some people do, like, and that's its own thing.
yeah, but
Regret
like you,
later is different than regret and emotion. Or you know what I mean? Like, we're not really given the premise to be able to think about those things, I guess. It's a weird like that's its own complicated like personal arc. Um, that I wouldn't try to project on to this. Like,
mm-hmm.
and even if it is the case that Shin's mom later regretted it. That's not what Shin needs to believe. And
Oh no,
um,
I don't think she regretted it at
I
like
don't
at
either.
all.
I
I
don't
thought it,
either.
but I don't know if just like
I don't think that, and
uh
I also don't think that she killed herself because of having a child.
no, I think it's the
Other
mental
circumstances,
abuse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, really, I do. I
Yeah.
think that it's the circumstance or the happenstance of it. But yeah, I would say that just based on like all the different moving parts, that he probably told her she needed to have an abortion and she chose not to.
Mm-hmm. She's like, "No. Fuck you,
Yeah.
dude."
Yeah, I want this baby. Like this is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hachi,
Like, yeah, like Hachi. Uh,
right? Like Hachi is more interested in loving the baby than she is in whatever circumstance comes into place because of wanting the baby,
mm-hmm.
right? Like Hachi's choosing her baby first, and that's her own volition.
Mm-hmm.
And she could choose the other as well, and there would be nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Both options are valid.
They are.
I also
They
think, though,
are.
that people who end up regretting having their children is because they really didn't want them to begin with.
I agree with that.
Like they didn't actually
100%. Mm-hmm. No, for
like, oh, this is
real.
a great thing to do. They didn't actually want the child. And that's a question that people have to ask themselves. Do I really want this child?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want the child for the rest of my life?
Yeah, because it's a person, you know?
It's a whole ass person.
It's a
It's
full ass
born a
person.
it's born a 100% a person. Like not like
Mm-hmm.
a percentage of a person through different ages of life. No, it's born a whole person with full autonomy. Just because it's not capable of taking care of itself fully doesn't mean that it's any less of a person, right?
Yeah.
And like they are fully 100% born with autonomy, and I think that that's something that's not really like digested and thought about when a child isn't planned.
Yeah.
But I'm also of the opinion that like if you're gonna have children, plan your fucking kids, plan them. Say
It's
I
a
want
good
to have a
idea.
child before,
Yeah.
right? If you don't want to have children before, then guess what? That's your answer.
Yeah.
Like you already had your answer.
Yeah.
And it's not a, oh, this might be nice. That's not the fucking thing. That's not
Yeah.
it.
No, but you'd be
That's not the vibe.
surprised.
I know. I know. I
When
know. That's the majority of babies.
I know, and it hurts me because
Yeah, because those
it just
men
hurts.
are not getting what they need. Like here's the thing. If we want to talk about Shin, let's talk about Shin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not focus on Shin's work
Yeah.
so much. And if we want to focus on Shin's work, let's talk about Shin's life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like if we want to talk about that, why has nobody mentioned in these comments the fact that he's being groomed by an older woman?
Yeah, I think maybe one person has
One person
kind of,
mentioned grooming.
yeah.
One person has mentioned grooming.
Yeah,
And
like
we're
a
on
while
chapter
ago.
33.
Yeah, like they yeah, they only just focus on that part, but we don't talk about the grooming or, you know, the parental abuse or
Right. The overall neglect.
yeah.
Shin has raised himself since his mother's been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it.
I just want
And I think that he's doing a pretty fucking good job raising himself, and he deserves some credit.
he's doing a really damn good job, but at the same time I just want to hug him and just
But
be like,
again, children who
"No."
have that level of wisdom and that level of compassion, it only comes from trauma. And there's two ways that trauma end up, like really like two polarities that we can really, really look at when it's that severe of trauma. They're like
Mm-hmm.
Shin, where they're wise and they have compassion for the people around them and a lot of love. Or they end
Mm-hmm.
up being like crazy murderers or abusers themselves.
Right. I'm like, or you get Ted
Or
Bundy's.
addicts. Like, right? It's the other end. Like addicts. He's not an addict.
Mm-mm. He's not. He is actually. He isn't.
He's not. And we have addicts in the story. So he could
We do.
easily have been written as an addict.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't. That's not.
But that's not Shin.
That's not Shin. No,
It's not, because he's a good person.
so good.
And
Mm.
he's not doing bad things. He's doing
No.
things that he shouldn't have to do because he should be protected.
Yeah.
But it's
Now
also not his friends' jobs to be his parent, and he wouldn't allow it anyway.
no, he wouldn't. Now on the flip side of that, the women that he's with are doing bad things.
Yes, the women that call him and that hire him and that pay him all the monies, including Rira,
Yeah.
are doing bad.
Mm-hmm. But it's complicated with Rira too.
Yeah, it is. And it's written and designed intentionally to be complicated because Rira is also very immature for her age. She like
Yeah.
whereas Shin has been thrown out into the world and had to learn how to take care of himself, Rira has always been a bird in a cage, quite literally, figuratively and literally, and she does know it, and so does he. And so
Mm-hmm.
her maturity in turn has been stunted.
Yep.
So they are at the same maturity level.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, it's so
I know.
messy.
So messy.
That's so messy. But and that's a weird thing too. It's just like despite knowing all that stuff, I still don't hate Rira.
I don't hate Rira either. Like
So,
that's the thing about it. I can't hate her. I can't. She's so
hmm
sweet and endearing.
hmm
I don't even care about the stuff that happens later. I still can't hate her because of that.
I mean, I don't either, but I have a lot
I
of
have feelings about it, but I don't hate her for it.
mm, I probably have different feelings about it, but I
Maybe.
definitely have feelings.
But yeah, I mean, I have feelings about it, but I don't hate her for it. Like I'm not mad at her.
Yeah. I just think it's obnoxious to when people, I
And I
guess,
think that it's less her than anyway.
yeah, it's just annoying when people are just like,
Yeah.
Rira is a selfish baby and she's, wants everything for her. And I'm like,
She doesn't
again,
know anything else.
yeah, I'm like, we're not reading the same story.
Well, no, we're not. Like that's another thing is but like that's also like again one of the beautiful things about Aizawa's work is that it's so real that there can be so many different perspectives based on your lived experience that pop out for you.
That is true. And on the other side of the coin, there is also some general nonsense based on fall.
There is some general fucking like nonsense from like weird radicalized theories that like
Ugh,
are conspiracy theories essentially of
yep.
this of the Yazawaverse and it's like where where did you find I need cited sources. I want cited sources. I want you to start providing citations
Yep.
for your theories. This is what I need. I need screenshots in this part, in this part, in this part. I need you to be the person with the pictures on the wall and the red string for
Yep.
me, please.
I say Cheryl. Yeah, yeah, we need it. But also, like, people were trying to do that too. Fucking Hachiko did it when it was all like in this like chapter right here. Nobu did an essay on Hachi, and we went and looked it up, and we're like, "You are
Oh,
not looking at pictures.
like
What are you
right.
looking
Like
at?"
no, we went and found it and it was wrong.
It was incorrect.
It was
I'm like,
actually wrong.
yeah. So I'm just like, man, it did cite a source, and nope.
No, the source was wrong. Like the source was the correct source. The interpretation, I don't understand still. I'm still trying to figure out how that could be fully interpreted as SA.
I, I mean, I want to say I would be dwelling on it, but I just filed it
He
under
went to
stupid.
kiss her
Yeah,
and they freaked out.
same time.
Time. They
Ugh.
freaked out because they do have like the real feels for each other because it's a different kind of love.
Yeah,
Yumi
it's
is a love of convenience. Nobu is a love of passion.
yeah.
They're both love though.
I can't wait till we get into the later chapters when that um well, she's not a sex worker. She's like a fashion magazine girl, but I think they force her to do sex acts for the spreads that she does, and she
Oh
gets
yeah.
together with Nobu, and I like her.
Yeah, no, yeah, she's a porn star.
That's right, she's a porn star.
Yeah, she's a porn star. And I think that she's actually all right with being a porn star. But I think she also just ended up there out of circumstance because she's not enough to be like a proper model, which happens actually quite a lot in the real world.
Yeah, which I also think like that's
Not so much anymore.
yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
that happens as much anymore.
That
It
yeah,
used to.
yeah. Her backstory and stuff, I guess, for what little we find out about her, like, just bothers me because it's just like, I don't know. It maybe she does like being a porn star. I don't know, but it sometimes it feels there are certain panels and certain things she's
Yeah.
being told
Yeah.
that she's like
Right.
upset about it, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
ooh,
No, yeah, she's not like 100% okay with it.
yeah, and that's very of the time.
It is. I mean, like it's not like, now where we have people who choose sex work in a way that they are actually creating it independently and having like free choice and not in contractual obligations for it.
Hmm. Which is great.
Yeah, I love that.
Also, sex is fantastic. So
Right. Go about your business.
I
Just don't be
like
an old
sex.
lady who hires teen boys.
Yeah, don't. Mm-mm.
That's all we ask.
Yeah, or the opposite way. Don't be a creepy old dude. It's
But at
also
the same
hiring.
time, like here's the thing. If Shin was 18, would you be okay with it?
We just asking like the general
The
populace.
general pop, yeah, because the age of consent in different states is different, right? So we have states that are 16. We have
Yeah.
states that are 18. Japan is 13.
Ooh,
So like where's your marker on that? Is it really the law that is like the morality here?
that's a good question.
Okay? So like I mean, I'm more concerned about age gaps than I am about age.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's certain
Like Dane
things that's
Cook
like
just married a fucking 25-year-old and said that they've been in a long-term relationship of 5 years. Dane Cook is in his 50s.
he fell in love with her when she what was that meme I read? It was like he fell in love with her when she turned 18 and not a minute before.
Right. So like, what's the line? Like where are we at? Why are we being so hard on Shin
Hmm.
or just on the concept or feeling bad for him?
Yeah,
When the age
it's
of consent it is lower. It doesn't make it okay. I'm just saying like,
no, it doesn't make it okay.
are you okay with a 16-year-old?
Mm-mm.
If Shin was a girl and 16, how would you feel?
Mm. Just for me personally, I'd feel about the same, which is bleh.
Right,
Mm-mm.
but like that's my point though. Like what is the actual like what is the consensus like within the dialogue?
Yeah, I'd be
What is it
interested.
being based on?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know that, especially from the slightly younger generation, because we have like influx of OnlyFans and e-girls.
Yeah.
So,
Like I'm just like that's why I'm curious. I'm like where is that for you? Like where's your bias coming from?
Mm.
Right? Like,
Hmm.
how are you deciding that he's too young of an age to do it when he lives in a society that 13 is the age of consent?
Just makes me feel away.
I mean, what if the people who are hiring him, well, I mean, like he's pretty much stated that it's exclusively like women, but
Hmm.
what if they were 19
Oh,
and
like the
hiring him?
people that were hiring him?
Yeah, they don't have the means to, but what if that's what the case was? Would you feel better about it, or is it actually that he is 15 and doing sex work? Would you be okay with it if he was 19 and doing sex work? And does that come from the preconceived notion that you believe 18 is the age of consent when the brain still isn't even developed at 19?
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, yeah, I do agree with you about about the gap thing because I'm like, ugh,
Is it the
there's
age gaps with the women who can actually afford to hire him?
yeah.
I mean, number one, sex work is work. So we'll set that aside because I'm tired of seeing like the whole idea that it's not legitimate work because it is. Um, but like,
They work
you
very
know,
hard for
right?
your orgasm. Just saying.
I mean, like, that's the thing. Should we make it so that sex workers can't do sex work until they're 25 because that's when the brain is done maturing?
Well, they probably make more
Ah,
informed
see?
choices.
But see? But then at that rate, should we just make it so that working laws in general are at 25 so that
Yes.
people have an opportunity to finish developing first before they have to go
Yes.
work themselves to death? Like, let's just like expand the conversation.
I mean, sure, why not? Let people have some insane
You can
early
be 15
20s.
and work at Burger King. Is it just because
Yeah,
it's sex?
probably just because it's sex.
And would you say that a 15-year-old who has to work because it is legal for them to work and gets scheduled over the federal minimum hours because that's often, and who also has to help their family pay for like power and food with that job while also going to school, would you say that that isn't abuse? Because I would say that's more abusive than what Shin is
Hmm.
doing,
Yeah.
right? So like I guess if it's going to be a constant conversation within the fandom, have the
Hmm.
conversation,
Yeah. Agreed.
right? That's it. Just have the fucking conversation. The whole conversation though.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like, don't just focus. Focus.
Right? Like have the whole conversation. Open the can of worms instead of just being like, this is a can of worms.
It says one can
It says
of
one can.
worms.
I don't want to open it because it might explode into something that actually like is,
Yeah, but that would make
complicated.
complicated. Yeah, that's why I'm just like people are not talking about it because then they're gonna get uncomfortable, and people
Right.
don't like to be uncomfortable.
No. No, nobody, but the only way to break cycles of abuse is by talking about them.
Yep.
It's the only way to make change is by having the conversation.